All right.
All right.
Night number 11 of our Coast to Coast Advent wine calendar.
We're almost there. Almost at 12. One more to go.
Yeah.
Tonight, back vintage red wine from Niagara. Stay tuned.
Mhm. Woohoo! Night 11.
Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members,
It's getting real.
everyone across the country from Nova Scotia to Vancouver Island, where we are now. We are sitting here in Victoria, just getting ready to celebrate Christmas. But like Mira said, this is night number 11 of our epic pan-Canadian Advent calendar. What a journey. What a journey we had. Started in Nova Scotia. Wow, it feels like it was a month ago. But now, 11 nights ago, we had Jean-Benoit Deslauriers winemaker at Benjamin Bridge, and we cracked open an unvintage reserve brut of Benjamin Bridge. So here we are now, 11 nights later, and we're going to go to a different region of Ontario. We haven't stopped there yet. So coming soon, we have someone in the green room, which is one of our very favorite person in the wine business. So I can't wait to chat about back vintage wine because we have a little back vintage here. So it's going to be a fun one. So welcome everybody. If you are, doesn't matter where you are, let us know where you're tuning in from, what's in your glass, and if you have the Advent calendar with you, let us know if you had a sniffy sniff yet, or if you had a sip. Let us know what you think about the wine of tonight. Mira, how are you?
Great.
Yeah?
Great.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
we've gotten into some Taws these last few days.
Yeah, a couple bottles of Taw's winery here. This is the Quarry Road Chardonnay, and Mira's sipping on the rosé before we hit the big red in our glass in a few seconds. But welcome everybody. What a day, eh?
Yeah.
We left the Okanagan at 3:30 this morning. Yeah, 3:30 a.m. Hit the ferry at 10 a.m. Been on the island. I dropped off the family and I went Christmas shopping. Yeah. So now
we almost didn't have to do that this year, but there's always something.
Now always a little something. So now, night number 11. We've done 10 different stops so far. Nova Scotia, Beamsville Bench with Malivoire Estate Winery, Courtney Vineyard, Courtney Block, Gamay, Tantalus Old Vine Riesling from Kelowna East Slope, Mouchadry Vineyard, Syrah from Lake Erie North Shore. 5, we did GSM from Hester Creek, Golden Miles in the Okanagan. 6, Trail Estate Winery with Pinot Noir, Prince Edward County. 7, Thomas Batchelder. We did the Mio Vineyard, first time that he worked with Mio Vineyard, Lincoln Lakeshore Appellation. 8, the Similkameen Valley. It was Courcelette Estate with 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, single block, single estate. 9, we did Blasted Church, Bordeaux Blend, Merlot, Cap Franc, Cap Sauv, Petit Verdot, and Malbec, 2019 vintage with Nothing Sacred, Skaha Bench, Okanagan Valley. That was last night? No, last night was 10. We did the Naramata Bench with Richard De Silva. we had this brand new pre-release 2023, and tonight
Of his Fumé Blanc.
of his Fumé Blanc.
And I gotta say, Carl, you doing that, it's like the 12 days of Christmas, but like rapid fire, like a new version I've never heard of before. Like it's really impressive. It's really impressive that you can just rattle all that off. Like,
Dissected backward, back like from start to finish.
I'm like, what happened yesterday? Yesterday
Yeah.
was what day?
Yeah, now we're at number 11. And number 11, my very personal Vanna White.
Here we go. Oh,
Please
Tracy, Jim, nice to see you guys. Yes, last night we got cut off at the very end there, but Tracy won the draw. So yes, we're doing a draw today. What did I put in the?
Oh yeah, Mira's very kind. Is very kind, but I kicked everyone out last night. I'm sorry. When I said I have to leave, you remember that, you guys? I said I have to leave. I had to go pick up my son. I hit out. So that was the end of the live. So Mira's like, what?
There's exit and there's end live.
I missed the exit button,
They
and I
look
put
the same.
yeah.
They look the same.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the end of last night. So Tracy, you won the draw last night.
Woo!
So welcome to is it Mary? Louise. Louise is here.
She's on the island.
Yeah,
Right
there
now.
you go.
There
There you go. We're in
Okay.
Victoria. Okay, wine number 11. Let's get to business because we have
Get
a
to
freaking icon of
business.
Niagara on the Lake sitting in the
Yes.
green room waiting for
Very
us.
exciting. Look
Okay.
at this. Look at
So
this.
now I
Take
just
the
give it a
hat
little hint.
off.
Niagara on the
Let's
Lake.
see.
Niagara on the
Get it
Lake.
off the front here. Yes. So
There you
those
go.
of you who know what that label is all
If
about.
you know, you know.
And look at that beauty.
2017 Cabernet Franc from the 4 Mile Creek appellation, Bella Terra Vineyard. Woohoo! One of our very favorite, the first ever Carl's Wine Club Members' Choice Award. The 2020 of the Cab Franc made our top 10 wine of the year 2 years ago. I mean, we've done many features, and the winemaker is one of our very favorite, one of our friends. I'm proud. I'm happy to call him my friend because he's an awesome dude. Really, really cool dude. Here you go. That's our guest here on the Skaha bench in Caledon, chatting with Rob Hammersley, the other winery Members' Choice Award winner of the year.
The first time we did the Members' Choice
Hey.
Awards. So really cool. Fred, it's so great that you took some time on the 23rd, the eve of the eve.
Oh my God. I can't believe that you
Thank
took
you.
some time, Fred, to spend the night with us. Welcome, my
Hey,
friend.
it's great to be with you.
Yay.
Is it? And you know what?
It
Now
is.
I'm going to open that bad boy open because my father-in-law is on the other room and he's waiting for a glass of wine, so I better hurry. Fred, what are you up to? I heard that in the last couple of days, you and your team got your fingers and your toes a little cold.
Cold and sticky. We're in ice
Cold and
wine
sticky.
season.
Yes.
Ice wine season. Tell us a little bit more. What did you harvest? What did you just press?
Oh well, we harvested on Saturday night our Vidal Blanc, and that's what we're pressing. We're still pressing it, and I've been driving truck. I haven't actually been pressing. That's been the job of Lou and his son David. So they've been bonding. Loudly.
Yeah, I'm sure David is completely agree with that. I'm sure.
Through all
Yeah.
the challenges, right?
Yeah. So I've been on truck driving duty, running the
Nice.
totes back and forth from our ice wine press house to the production facility. So yeah, we'll be fermenting that through the Christmas season.
Is it a big haul this year? Is there? I heard that there's an increase in demand. So
For ice wine?
yeah. So back to
Wow.
production, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had a big haul, probably about 50 tons.
Mm.
And and out of that, we'll get about 10,000 liters.
That's pretty cool. So, Fred, we've been journeying across the country for our really cool project of the Advent calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I've been following.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
been a
awesome.
lot of fun.
You guys had one.
You got it at a 6 bottles.
And we got the 6-bottle pack and have been enjoying it. Yeah.
There you go.
Very
There
much
you go.
so.
That's awesome.
And I really wanted to put a little bit of a back vintage in the equation. So when talking with you, your team, and Marcel to come up with the 17th Cap Franc was a real treat for us. So we're very excited. So now I'm just gonna pour some here.
Just hold on.
Oh, gonna get Mira going here. Oh my God! Oh yeah, this wine is shining right now. Oh, the nose is absolutely exploding. So, Fred, yeah, I know.
That's
So
amazing.
we're gonna follow the little pattern that I've been following since the very beginning, because we have our regular who all know you. You've been having barbecues with these guys, eating Sandy's Madeleine and macaroon and butter tart with us, and tasting all of these amazing Canadian wines together.
Yeah.
But there's some new members joining in every night. So I would like us to start with the story of Bellaterra. When Bellaterra started, and especially your journey with Bellaterra, because you've been the only winemaker since the very beginning. So let's start with that.
Yeah, so Bellaterra started in 2009 with our first vintage, and the retail doors opened in 2010, in the summer of 2010. So, but it goes back farther than that.
I was like, where's that bottle? Because a lot of the bottles now say growing since what, 1968 or something like that, right?
74, I think.
Or 74.
I think
that's
so.
when Lou Puglisi's family, his parents bought the farm that is sort of central to the estate right now. So that block still is actually, that's where the winery sits.
And the house where the offices are
that was where Lou grew up. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So 1974. So Lou, in the nutshell.
So he's at least 50 years old.
We know he's not listening right now, so we can keep going. He's pressing ice wine.
He's pressing ice wine, so we can say whatever we want.
We can say whatever. And Marcel's in Germany, so who the fuck cares?
Agreed.
Yeah. So in the progression, I mean, did Lou start right away with vinifera grapes, or did he started with hybrid and transitioning later? How's the farm started?
So they actually had table grapes and other tender fruits, or like apricots and peaches. Those sorts of things. So that was the original farm. They weren't growing wine grapes at all back in the early 70s. But as the market changed and as Niagara became known, and some of the pioneers like Don Zeraldo and Carl Kaiser, with Inniskillen, they started planting more and more vinifera grapes in Niagara. So I'm sure the Puglisis followed suit on their heels fairly quickly and started doing the same. And the rest is history, right?
Yeah, and I mean, pretty quickly, you guys realized that the Four-Mile Creek appellation was very well suited for big Bordeaux grapes, and Cabernet Franc, Merlot became pretty quickly the center stage of the estate vineyard where you guys are located. And Lou won a big award as the Grape King of Ontario as well, right?
That's right, in 2008, the year before it may have been part of the big decision to start his own winery, right? If he's growing the best grapes.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? And how did he find Fred? How did you guys know each other? How's that relationship?
Well, that goes back to 1999, so 10 years before that.
Okay.
Lou was growing grapes for a winery that I had just started working at as a cellar hand. Yeah.
There you go.
Under Sue Ann's staff. I won't name the winery,
Yeah.
but I'm sure people can figure it out.
Yeah. It's so funny how these connections, eh? Hey, how we all get together once a year and all talk. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that story a lot.
That's great.
And so Pondview was born. And when you guys started Pondview, was there what was the objective? What was the goal? What was the vision? Was it we're gonna make Big Red, or was it let's figure it out throughout the years, or how's everything came together?
So I mean, we sat down in August 2009, and I asked that very question of Lou. What's your goal? And he said, I want to make great wine for a great price. So it was a value proposition. So that's really what we've been trying to achieve all these years. You know, make really great wine that punches above their weights, right? So
I love that. I love that. And you just did such a phenomenal job that you could not get away from it. You started to make wines like this, still for an amazing price point.
Right. Yeah. So
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean this wine right now, but Mirella.
The other part of the
ahead,
story, when we sat down, I asked him what the name of the winery was going to be, and he said Pondview, and I immediately maybe I'm lucky I got the job, because I looked at him and said, "Are you sure?"
Love it.
But anyway, several years later, we finally rebranded, and it's now Bellaterra Vineyards. And but I guess Pondview was kind of part of punching
above your class or your weight class.
yeah, exactly. Keep
But
the
I mean,
expectations low.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool because Bellaterra referred to the home, like to Lou's native land, right? It's about like his Italian origin, correct?
That's correct. In Sicily, yes, that's right.
So that's what the crest, like the logo on the bottle here, I think is one of the family logo or something like that. I heard a story before, but
well, it's the tiles, right?
Yeah,
the tiles. That's right. Yeah, I think it's
go.
a fairly common motif in the village where Lou's family came from.
Okay, so that's about the winery, and I mean, like, we have such an amazing relationship since we started the club. We had the first feature we did. There was a Pondview feature. There was no Bellaterra wine in our first ever feature. There was Pondview Riesling, Pondview Cap Merlot, Pondview like, I mean, like, we were featuring.
I gotta say, it was the thick of COVID, and we were wearing masks inside sometimes. You know, it was like the very beginning.
Isn't that weird?
I've never told this story, but I distinctly remember the first time we spoke with Marcel on the phone. This guy right here. We met Richard De Silva last night on this live. Had his wine in this calendar, and there's Marcel. And I thought we were going to get sued because Marcel and Carl had such an unhinged conversation about, like, it ended up with like really like weird comments about like ladies' underwear, and like, I don't know how they got to that. Like, I don't even know. Like, it was almost like instant. Like, in like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get sued by these people who are gonna be like.
And that was our first ever. When I remember, that's funny because she never told the story. When I hung up the phone, she's like, "Who was that?" I'm like, "I don't know. The guy from Pondview in Niagara." She said, "When did you met that guy before?" It's like, "I don't know. We just talked for the first time." She was speechless. So we hit it off, and 5 years later, I mean, here we are, right? I mean, this is pretty cool. But yeah, I want to, before we talk about the wine, because this wine is truly shining right now. Oh my God, I think it's entering its peak. But before, I want to talk about the 4 Mile Creek appellation, because there's distinctive characteristic between the Niagara Escarpment, Niagara on the Lake. Also, the focus of grape varietals in these two key regions of Niagara are completely different. And when we talk about heat unit, we're located here. Well, usually we're in the Okanagan, and the Osoyoos Oliver is known as one of the hottest spots in the country. But in terms of heat unit, degree days, the 4 Mile Creek appellation is as hot as Osoyoos. So now, tell us a little bit more about the 4 Mile Creek and what you guys are hanging your hat on, and what's your big focus at Bellaterra.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of accumulated heat units, we achieve similar end results, right? So you start adding up heat units per day, right?
Starting in April 1st all the way to the end of October, I believe, right?
It starts when you start adding them up when your daily minimum is 10 degrees or more.
Okay. Here you go.
Your daily average temperature is 10 degrees Celsius or more, right?
Okay.
And that's when they drop below that, right? So, but the thing is, in Osoyoos, you're pretty much in a desert, right? So you get extremes, big variations even within a single day, right? So
the diurnal shift.
The diurnal shift, right? I mean, you might be going down to, midsummer, you might be going down to what, 12 degrees, I imagine.
At night, yeah.
At
absolutely.
night, and up around 40 degrees,
42,
38, 40 degrees in the daytime. So your average temperature is very high, but your diurnal shift is also great. The thing in Niagara is it stays warmer at night midsummer, right? So we don't have to we can have the same average temperature day by day as in Osoyoos, but we're not hitting those extremes. We don't need to hit those extremes. The other thing about extreme heat for grapevines, when you get above 30, 32 degrees, the stomata on the leaves start to close.
Yeah.
And actually the vine isn't photosynthesizing anymore at that point. Oh, I don't know if you can see my shirt. I just discovered I wrote my photo. Can you read that? It says photosynthesis. Or is it backwards?
You planned the whole thing.
I did not, but I
knew I'm going to ask that question.
I'm
going to ask that question. Just read my shirt, for God's sake, Carl.
I love it.
But I mean, like, you grow the grape very differently. I mean, there's completely different challenge in South Okanagan that what you guys have.
Oh, absolutely.
For focusing on on similar grape varietals, but with completely different process.
Yeah, exactly. And we do get very different wines, even with the same varietals, because of that, right?
Totally.
So yeah, our wines tend to be. Now I saw one of your was it Blasted Church?
Yeah. Blasted Church, the Nothing Sacred 2019 vintage that we did on night number 9.
Exactly. But so that was a very a more typical year, dry summers, very hot, high temperatures throughout, right? But he also talked about having some seasons being more rainy, right?
Yeah.
But that's pretty rare in BC, whereas in Niagara, it's not so rare. right? That's why our 2020 sticks out so much, right? I mean, it was dry. I can list the dry growing seasons on in my 25 years on one hand.
16, 16, 20 are the last one.
12, 16, sorry. 10, 12, 16, 20.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the 4 Mile Creek, how many winery would you say that you guys are right now sitting on your appellation?
Quite a few.
Probably like what, 25, 30? At least 20.
In 4 Mile Creek in our sub appellation.
Yeah. At least 20.
So,
would it be
yeah,
20?
and you guys are okay. So Dean's asking a good question. Do you get the same ridiculous snowfalls as Buffalo, New York?
No, we do not.
You're very close to New York.
We're below the escarpment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the protection.
And most of the lake effect snow is blowing in off of Lake Erie. So, coming from the west, whereas when we're getting those weather systems coming in from the southwest, we're kind of protected by the escarpment.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Good to know.
There you go. So that's the 4 Mile Creek. Now let's talk about the 2017 Bellaterra Cab Franc, because what's in our glass right now?
This is amazing.
Oh fuck, that's good. It's really good. This one has softened up. This one is rich. This one is silky. This wine is evolving so beautifully. So that's what we have here right now. I'm not sure if our listener, any one of you guys have the wine open tonight, but if you do, please leave a note in the comments. I want to know your thought. I want to know what you're thinking about the 2017.
So I gotta say, we know Daryl, notorious, not a fan of Cab Franc. I was not a fan of Cab Franc the first year and a half that I started drinking wine.
2.5
years. Not a big fan. This is why I fell in love with Cab Franc. I mean, this right here, like, wow.
Is that the 2017 or Niagara Cab Franc in general?
It's your 2017 that we just revealed.
Yeah. So, and I think it was in my original note, the first time that we did the Bellaterra, the Bellaterra feature, I had the 15 and the 17 Cabernet Franc. And that's when Mira said, forget everything I said about Cab Franc. I love it now. And that was the first time that she had that reaction. Now we're talking
Sandy likes it, see?
3 years later, and this wine has evolved beautifully. I want you to tell us a little bit more about the 2017 vintage for you, Fred, as a winemaker, about the growing season, when you brought the fruit in the at the winery, and what was your thought back then when you were pressing?
Well, I'll go back before we harvested the fruit. Quite frankly, through the growing season, I was a little worried because it was cool. It was actually a cool season. We didn't get those heat units in 2017 that we usually do. It was cooler than normal, a little bit wetter than normal, which says a lot. So I was a little bit nervous, but when we got into September, the rain stopped. It was miraculous, and it actually started to get warm. We had very mild daytime highs, and the nights weren't that cold. We didn't. I think the frost was relatively late. It was into November, but we harvested quite late. I remember that. I think there was snow on the ground.
And as winemaker know, the fall makes the vintage.
And that's the thing. Now, that being said, given the cool temperatures during the growing season, we still had really good acids, right? But with the long fall, we also achieved good sugars, right? So without the alcohol getting too high.
Well,
And I
because
think
here you're sitting at 14 and a half. It doesn't feel hot. And
no,
this wine has much more to come because there's bright acid in there.
exactly. And I think that's what's actually keeping it fresh all these years, right?
Yeah.
Because, that's been, we would have bottled that in 2019, right? 5 years ago or 4 years ago. Sorry.
Right.
No, 5 years ago. What am I talking about? Yeah.
I can't believe how much time flies.
I know.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I feel that this wine is just entering his window of drinkability, his prime window of drinkability. For me, the next 3 years, that's where that wine is on center stage. This wine is absolutely shining right now for the next 36 months. Lots of tobacco. Like the tannin has softened up. There's that dark cherry as well, blackberry, really, really classic. I really think that's where, to me, that's Stream Niagara on the Lake. That profile is totally for Mog Creek.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it takes that long in bottle before it becomes drinkable. To be quite honest, Cab Franc is a very, very tannic wine, especially in cooler years. So a lot of that softening of tannins has to occur in the bottle during the aging process, right?
Yeah.
And which also lends it longevity. So between the acids and the tannins, but you have to wait, right? You have to wait.
Patient. Need to be patient. And for the little story for you, I got your 2022. Marcel sent me a bottle of the 2022 Cab Franc and the Meritage, both of them. And I called him. I said, "Huh?
Did it have a label?"
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. We just
they do.
okay.
They do.
Yeah.
We tasted it a couple weeks ago, and I called him. I said, "What's the release date?" He said, "Not yet." I said, "Good call."
Good call. That's right.
But it tags at what you're saying, right? A little bit of patience. And 2022 was a colder vintage, beautiful, but colder as well. So let's be patient.
Yeah, actually, fairly similar to 2017. Fairly
there
similar.
You go. Game of patience. So tell us a little bit about your oak program. How do you approach a vintage like 17 with your oak program? Or is it something that you do the same way every year? Doesn't matter which kind of vintage. Well, how do you operate with the barrels?
Okay, so without giving away too much, first of all, the only varietal I will use American oak on is Cabernet Franc. American oak is a little bit more aggressive, but I need those extra tannins from the oak to marry with the almost excessive tannins of the Cabernet Franc, and especially in a cool season, they're not as mature, right? So I use that American oak to it's kind of the opposite of tracks. It's
softened up,
you give it more because it can take more, right? And that having that union really helps to protect the color, give it ageability, but it does take a long time to mature in the bottle.
Do you have a favorite Cooper that you really it's your go-to, or you go depending on what your supplier have?
Well, we have lots of suppliers.
Okay.
So I have some go-tos, but I'm not going to really reveal.
Okay, fair enough.
But they're different for every varietal as well.
Absolutely, exactly.
Right.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
But your time and the time in barrel, Fred, do you usually try to hit a certain spot? Let's say 2014, it was what, 18 months in barrels, 24 months.
Right. So I've been I've been aging longer in barrel as we go. So 2009 I only went maybe 12, 18 months because all the oak was new
Mm-hmm.
at that time, so we couldn't leave it in that long. So as the years go by, though, I've been tending to go longer and longer. So by 2017, I was, around the 22-month mark,
Okay.
22, 24. Yeah.
Okay. Mira's putting up some pictures right now. So by the way, I think I want to shift a little bit about what we've done this summer. We went to visit you with some members, Fred, and we did a blending session.
Yes.
Man, we had a blast.
That was
day.
fun. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it? I
Yeah,
mean, you,
good
me,
time.
and Marcel as the judge, and our people sitting at the table blending their own wine. Oh man, we had an absolute blast.
It was. And what are the pictures? You're going to show us pictures of that?
Well, I was just going to say we had a blast, so I was going to show the pictures, but Carl is not used to seeing everything I do. He's like, what's happening?
Oh, I'm sitting beside her today, and usually I'm upstairs, and I thought what she's showing that everyone see it, but no, she's downloading pictures.
You're downloading.
This is what I mean. It was so cool. We blended our own wines. Of course, Tracy won. Tracy won last night too. We had a draw. She's like super lucky, I guess, Tracy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
lucky and talented.
And talented, see, because winning the blending competition, that was more about talent.
Oh, I mean, come on, that's the biggest trophy of the summer. Come on, like, yeah, okay. And now segue to that, Fred, because
so speaking about, yes, there was a label on the wines that Marcel recently sent us, but this time last year, right before Christmas, we got a beautiful package from yourself and your amazing wife Margarita. And it had no label at that time. Remember that bottle?
That's a custom label.
It is a custom label.
That's a collectible now. We can't open that bottle. We still haven't.
Well, you still haven't opened it?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. When did I put that back up? Let me see. I wrote something. I wrote instructions. What does it say?
Yeah, so that was open for discussion because you wanted us to talk about the name.
Oh, that's right.
Because back then the Bolero, that we didn't know when it's going to become the Bolero, and we surely didn't know that it's going to be part of my top 10 wine of the year this year. And we sure didn't know that we're going to do a pre-release with Carl's Wine Club, and our members will absolutely fall in love with that wine.
Amazing wine.
Fed, this is your own project. So outside of the amazing things that you do with Bellaterra and Marcel and Lou and David, you also have your own little gig. And these wines, Fred Wine. And by the way, I have to give the designer an absolute kudos because your logo is fucking amazing.
Emily.
Every time.
Shout out to Emily Giroux.
Every time I look at the logo, I see you. Okay. Yeah. And it's just like, I love it so much, Fred. It's amazing. Every time. And I kind of chuckle every time. First one that I really fell in love with, it's your white. And I love the story behind your white blend with the botrytis affected and all that. Can you tell us a little bit about the wild side?
Yes. Harvested 2022, Thanksgiving Day by my entire family, including my at that time 84-year-old father and his partner, my brother, his wife, all my kids, and my wife Margarita, who you know. And it was an interesting pick. We didn't have much Riesling, strangely enough, in 2022. And that particular block, and that was due to a cold winter, much like the Okanagan has suffered in 2023. So the owner, Lou, went into the block in the spring when things started growing. And he just saw leaves. He didn't see any fruit inflorescences. So at that point, he said, I'm just going to do minimal care on this just to keep the vines alive and healthy. He already had decided there was no fruit there. And fast forward 3 months, I go in, it's early October, and I start, pushing the leaves to the side, taking a look. And, I see a bunch here and a bunch over there. And so I went to Lou and I said, I see a little bit of fruit. So if you're not going to, put the effort into harvesting it, can I come in and get a crew together and pick it by hand? And he said, knock yourself out.
And
so that's what I did. Took us all day. Now that block normally produces about 15 tons, and I got 1. And it took all day.
Oh, wow.
The labor of love, Fred. That's truly
labor
what it was.
Love,
The
definitely.
labor of love with your close people.
I didn't know this story.
You didn't know that story?
No.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And there was some botrytis on the grapes. So it brings an entire different dimension on the in the wine. I mean, the texture is outstanding. That's the first one that I fell in love with until we tasted the Bolero, and I looked at Mira and I say, holy fuck. Literally, it was my reaction. Whoa. And I mean, we taste it twice, and I said, okay, now that's when we connected with you and said, Fred, we need to do something. This wine is absolutely outstanding. And we pre-released it with the club, and we it's going to be part of my top 10 wine of the year this year, Fred. So congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Little guy right
awesome.
there with no label.
The one with the green, the painting tape. Yeah.
So they did an amazing job on the label, and Margarita hand waxed all of them, which is amazing.
That's right.
And again, we love that logo because it comes with the. So see, look, it's Fred, but yeah. There we go.
So Fred, I know we're getting so close from Christmas. It's late at the home, and I want to say thank you for our great 5 years of relationship that we've built together in Margarita, and we're grateful to have you in our circle. You guys are outstanding. This 2017 Cabernet Franc from Bellaterra is absolutely shining tonight. You're putting a lot of joy in Carl's Wine Club members' household right now. So,
and can I just say, that is now a library wine, and there are very few cases left. So your wine club members are very lucky, to have received this, and it's still available to order, I assume, right?
So Marcel has a few cases especially for our members for the Advent calendar. So what we're doing for the 12 nights, people can build their own case. So build up more as they go if they really like one of these wines. So at the end of the 12 days, we're going to take maybe a day and a half off. And after that, we're going to put all of that together. And
Okay.
Yeah, and you're right. It is a library wine. I don't think it's available on your website. It's not at the winery. So Louise, great question. I don't know if we made that up. I don't think we made that up. But library wine just means it went into the wine library in the cellar.
Yeah, I think it was about 30 cases. So
Yeah.
And
not,
then
not
it's
very
not
much.
available otherwise.
No, it's
Yeah,
not available anywhere. It's just the one you guys once a year you open a bottle and you guys try it just to see the evolution of what you're doing.
Exactly.
This is your information center. That's the heart of the information of Bellaterra, because that's how you see how your wine age depending on which vintage.
Exactly.
So
I mean, we
this
can
is a
take notes till the cows come home, but really, that's the proof. The proof is in the pudding. So yeah, we do have to keep some cases back, and revisit them years later to see how they evolve. Yeah.
exactly. So,
And
and
we
they
were
give
very
you tips.
happy with this one in particular.
Yeah, and they give you tips for the future as well, right? Like you see, depending on which kind of vintage, when you face a similar vintage, you know what you did back then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It all goes into the learning. Yeah.
Exactly.
We
So
have a member that says he just loves going to the library. He likes to open lots of things in the library.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's the wine library.
Exactly. So make sure you say happy Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to Margarita,
Yeah.
to all the family, Fred.
Thank
Wishing
you. And to
all the
yours
best.
as well. Merry Christmas to you, Mira and Carl and your kids.
Thank you.
I assume they're with you in Victoria.
Oh yeah.
We got many cousins and friends.
They're busy eating candies with their grandparents right now.
Oh,
it's about that time of day, dinner time.
Yeah.
Some appetizers of chocolates and
Perfect. And when they're old enough to drink wine, that'll be the appetizer.
Yeah,
there
that's
you
our
go.
appetizer.
That's it. And Grandpa's gonna dig into the 2017 Bellaterra Cap Franc very, very soon. He's right next to the door and he's knocking right now. Hey,
Save me some.
I want to try some. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
All the very best, Fred. Love ya.
Yeah.
Love you too. Ciao.
Take care. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of you who are listening tonight. I mean, night number 11, all of 12. I mean, what a trek across the country has been awesome. And we've been saying that, like, we've been doing what we do with Carl's Wine Club with the greatest joy of building relationships, like we've built with Fred and his family and his team with Marcel and Lou, and they're truly some of the very, very best in the industry. And on the back of what we had last night with the incredible interview with Richard De Silva, and to have Richard and Marcel and Fred to all meet together, and our friend Rob Amersley as well, which was the first BC winery of the year. All of these guys to meet together.
It's pretty cool.
And I mean, this is really, really cool to see all of these relationships developing.
I mean, this was the iconic image right here. Rob holding, I think, that 2017 Cap Franc.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly. So Fred is holding Rob's wine and Rob's Cap Franc, and Marcel and Rob is holding Fred's Cap Franc.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's right, in Caledon in BC. So yeah,
amazing stuff. And then they swapped. I mean, Rob and Michelle from Black Market went to Niagara when we did the members reunion in Niagara. So these are pretty special people that do these kinds of things. Pretty amazing people.
Yeah, building special moments. And a lot of you guys who are listening have been part of that, joining us at Pan Canadians in BC, in Ontario, also to Winery of the Year's parties. So we're grateful. Very grateful in this holiday season. That night number 11.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's lost.
Yeah. Night number 11. Now we're on the 4 Mile Creek appellation in Niagara-on-the-Lake, tasting the back vintage 2017 of Cabernet Franc.
Tracy and Jim have the 2016 of this Cab Franc.
Okay. I know we had 15 we tasted 15, 17, and 20 in the 3 packs that we had at some point.
We never tasted the 16, which tells me maybe it sold out really fast. Maybe it's a really nice one. I don't know.
Well, 16 was an outstanding vintage in Niagara.
Niagara?
So
There you
Tracy, save that for June 15th.
June 21st.
The 21st. Yeah, save that. Special request from Carl from our night number 1 at
We'll have to
the rental
we'll have
house.
to bring something really ultra special for where we are.
So yeah, now there's only one more night to go. Tomorrow
This is the big
Christmas Eve. We're gonna have another very special bottle. It's gonna be the closure, the exclamation point on our 12 nights of Christmas. So let's recap what we had so far. Wine number 1 was.
Oh God, you're gonna do it again. I'm going.
I'm sure. Wine number 1. We went to Nova Scotia. We tasted the non-vintage reserve from Benjamin Bridge, hosting Jean-Benoit Delaurier, winemaker. A wine was not available anywhere. So really, really unique non-vintage brut. And there's wine. The base wine has some vintage all the way back to 2002 in that reserve brut. Was wine number 1. Wine number 2. We interviewed Elisa Mazzi, winemaker at Malivoire Estate Winery on the Beamsville Bench in Niagara, on the escarpment, tasting the 2021 Malivoire Courtenay Gamay. Courtenay Gamay is a single block of their vineyard who's been vinified on its own since the very beginning of the winery. So special wine in the heart of Malivoire staff. Wine number 3, we went to BC for the first time on the Kelowna East Slope, hosting David Patterson, winemaker at Tantalus Vineyard, with Old Vines Riesling from some of the oldest wine of Riesling in British Columbia. Wine number 4, we went on the Lake Erie North Shore appellation with Mouchadre Vineyard and the pre-release of their 2020 Syrah, which is still to this day the highest rated wine in the Advent calendar. Number 5, we went to the Golden Mile Bench in the Okanagan with the GSM from Hester Creek, the 2021 GSM, which won the Platinum Award at the All Canadian last year. The wine number 6, when we hit halfway of our 12 pack, it was Trail Estate Winery from Prince Edward County, land of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So Trail Estate, we had the 2021 Pinot Noir, and we had Mackenzie Brisebois in interview. Night number 7, we had the legendary Thomas Batchelder, where we tasted for the first time his Mio Vineyard from the Lincoln Lake Shore. What a great time we had with Thomas on almost an hour interview. You asked me to do a 20-minute interview. Yeah, didn't happen. Night number 8, we went all the way back to BC, and we had to BC in the Similkameen Valley, where we tasted the 2021 Cabernet Sauvignon from Courcelette Estate, hosting Charlie Bessler, winemaker and owner of the winery. Wine number 9, we stayed in BC going on the Skaha Bench with a Bordeaux blend with Blasted Church, Nothing Sacred, 92 plus points. And we had Evan Saunders, the winemaker, talking about the 2019 vintage, how it developed in the barrel, and how after a year in barrel, they finally decided to make their top wine. It was a really cool interview. Wine number 10, last night, we had Richard De Silva, our friend from the Naramata Bench, and tasted this pre-release of the Fumé Blanc 2023 wine, who's not available anywhere but in your Advent calendar pack. And tonight, we had our very good friend Fred DeProfrio at Bellaterra Estate Winery with the Back Vintage 2017 Cabernet Franc. Boom!
That's That's why we pay you the big bucks, Carl. I couldn't even remember what I had for breakfast, so that's great.
You had nothing. You had nothing for breakfast. You were sleeping in the car when I was driving to the Coca-Cola on the ice, black
Love
ice, and
it.
yeah.
Love it.
No,
Hey,
but
Daryl, good call. He placed his order. Yeah, so especially that first one that you liked, Daryl, low on numbers, but we did save the ones you wanted, so that's great.
yeah, what an amazing journey so far. We have one
Amazing.
more tomorrow with one of a legend
I'm
of the
looking forward to that.
Canadian wine industry, a real legend. So, and
Pretty much everyone we've spoken to is a real legend.
I guess, but now we're gonna talk about the
mind
godfather of the legends.
One of them,
and a wine who's gonna be on my top 10 wine of the year.
Louise, I don't think I can see them yet. I don't think so. When you get to checkout, then I think I can see them. But that's okay. That's okay. We will probably be okay. I'm going to send an email to you guys first who've been following along, and then to everybody else after Christmas. So
that this wine is evolving
first
so
dibs.
amazingly right now. The spice is bursting out of the glass. The fruit, the tobacco, like there's like chewy pipe tobacco.
I'm loving it. Rob is calling out Daryl on this Cab Franc thing.
Yeah,
you know that could be quite the news item if we convert Daryl to Cab Franc at some point. I'm not saying it has to be.
No. I mean, on the third day of the Pan Canadian on the third day of our vineyard tour weekend, we had a sit down, Daryl and I, and after the politic chat that we had, it turned out into a screaming match. We talk about Cab Franc, and he told me he liked Cab Franc.
Oh,
once in a while.
Okay.
Without the fucking pyrazine.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I know that he can't. He
no
likes
pyrazines on this one we had tonight.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Sandy's gonna enjoy us trying. Perfect. I think blind tasting is the way to go. We're gonna need to do some blind tasting.
There you go.
Good. Hey, okay, we're drawing for $30 off. I think tomorrow we're gonna do a bigger fanfare around the draws, like quite possibly we'll have to see. But we did a mystery bottle the other day. Tracy won that one, so maybe we can do that tomorrow and maybe some other things. So let's see who wins tonight, though. I think I've got everyone. Rob, let me make sure I got your comment on there. Instagram. Anybody new from Instagram that wants to add their name to the draw here? Yep, I got Rob. Okay, so here we go. This is for $30 off your next club purchase.
See, that's where you shine. I wouldn't know how to do that. No!
Oh my God, Tracy, you're so lucky!
That's enough! That's enough!
Okay, we're gonna go for two now. So Tracy, you get this one. So this is going towards you or Daryl's or somebody's cart. One more. Let's see what looks.
If
it's Jim, then that's a sign. Okay. Oh, it's Stacy. There you go. Nice work. So Tracy, Stacy. See, it's the IE at the end.
I don't know. I don't know.
You guys are lucky tonight, Tracy and Stacy.
Oh, I love it. Guys, happy December 23rd. I mean, I hope everyone is enjoying a little bit of time off. And tomorrow, Christmas Eve. So I wish everyone a great time among family. We will be back at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time for the last one of the holidays before, but not the last one of the holidays because we're coming back on the 28th for our Red Blend Marathon. But I asked for a day and a half off, so hopefully I can get away with that. So.
Oh, absolutely, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yes, great. Well, fabulous, guys. Hope everyone has an amazing evening. I'm going to be in touch with Tracy and Stacy. See, it's easy to remember who won.
Exactly.
It's the IEs, right?
Okay.
And we'll be back tomorrow night.
Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, see you again tomorrow.
Cheers.